Hello, everyone, and welcome to You Decide Southern California 2014. I'm Tony McEwing. Well, this is the show where you get to meet the politicians pushing for your support. Now, we ask the candidates the questions about the issues that we think that you care about, that matter to you, and then you decide if the person deserves your vote. Now, to help question those on the hot seat tonight with me is Brian Calle, opinion editor with the Orange County Register. Welcome, Brian.
Thanks, Tony.
And our guests tonight are Ben Allen. He's running for LA County's 26th State Senate District seat against Sandra Fluke, and Democratic Assemblywoman Sharon Quirk Silva. She's running for re-election to the State Assembly in Orange County's 65th District against Republican Young Kim. But first on the hot seat is John Morris, a deputy district attorney who is running against West Hollywood Council member Jeff Prang. They're both vying to succeed scandal-plagued assessor John Noguez as he awaits trial on corruption charges. The assessor's job, of course, is to appraise properties within the county in order to collect taxes. Noguez is accused of lowering appraisals in exchange for political contributions. And I guess that's probably where we'll begin, but you'll be the judge of that.
Absolutely. That's the hot issue with this particular elected office. What would you do going into the assessor's office if you were elected to restore the public trust?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I believe that leadership begins at the top. So I'm going to have a self-imposed rule that if I or any later assessor cannot serve because of pending criminal charges, we forfeit our salary and benefits. And the reason is because John Noguez, the crooked assessor, he's been at home for over 2 years collecting a salary of over $200,000. And it really provided no type of deterrent for him or anyone else. So I think that if we impose my rule, it'll keep the assessor's office straight and keep the assessor straight.
That seems more symbolic. What else would you do in terms of protocols or operations or communicating with the public that would make them say, hold on, we've got someone in this office who isn't going to take advantage of the public, isn't going to take advantage of the public trust, and is doing the right thing for the taxpayers?
Well, first of all, we have to review all the audits that have occurred and determine whether or not we need another audit of the procedures at that office. Unfortunately, what Mr. Noguez did was unconscionable. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that we put in place procedures that everyone has access to the same system and same appeals process, and that the assessor and the chief executives at the office will not get involved in any political influence on the assessments for properties.
Well, now, Mr. Morris, as you know, a lot has already been done to clean up that office. You've primarily been campaigning on the fact that you would go in and clean up the office, but a lot has already been done. In fact, your opponent says he's done a lot of the cleaning up of that office already. So why would people vote for you instead of him?
Well, you know, the person who's saying that the office is cleaned up is my opponent. Actually, in the primary election, there were 12 candidates, 9 of whom were insiders. And of those insiders, 3 of them said that the corruption was still ongoing. So I don't believe that the fraud has been eliminated. I think we still have to go in and we have to make sure that
but do you think your opponent is part of that corruption?
Mr. Prang was hired after the fraud and corruption had occurred. He was brought on by the crooked assessor John Noguez as a public relations representative. His job was to make the story go away, and there's actually an LA Weekly article about him trying to discredit some of the witnesses in the Noguez investigation. So he wasn't part of the original fraud and corruption, but he was doing his job for his close friend, John Noguez, to help cover it up.
And so you think there's more to be done to clean up that office?
I do, and you know, I hope I'm wrong. I hope the office has been cleaned up, but this is an office that's been run by insiders for 26 years. I think the depth of the corruption goes beyond what we all know right now, and I'm going to make sure that my office works closely with the district attorney's office in ensuring they have complete access to everything they need in order to complete their investigation.
What in your past experience prepares you for a job like the assessor? I mean, you've come from different positions that aren't necessarily akin to the same job you'll be doing. So what do you think best prepares you to do this job?
Well, I think there's a couple different aspects of my background that are very helpful. Before joining the district attorney's office, I was a real estate attorney and did construction and real estate litigation. I have a real estate license. I'm also a published author on real estate litigation, and I was even a paid law school tutor on real estate law. Beyond that, at the district attorney's office, I was the head of one of the largest fraud prosecution divisions in California. Under my leadership, we more than tripled the number of our criminal prosecutions, and I'm a published author on white-collar crime and criminal fraud. And finally, and probably most importantly, is I believe leadership skills are transferable. At the district attorney's office, I have been in supervisory and administrative positions for 14 years. During that time, I was even the head of the busiest branch of the district attorney's office up in Lancaster and Antelope Valley. So I'm going to bring the same leadership skills that I've shown at the district attorney's office. I'm going to apply them to the assessor's office, and I'm going to turn it around.
Mr. Morris, are you a supporter of Proposition 13?
I am, and I've been endorsed by the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association.
And so you are in support of Proposition 13 unchanged?
I am, and I know there was a push in Sacramento to change some of the acquisition determinations for Proposition 13. For some reason that died in committee, and I never looked at the entire package that they had put together because, you know, when laws go into Sacramento, they don't come out the same way. So I was waiting to see what it entailed, but it died in committee, and the changes that they had, that they were working on, actually it wasn't even opposed by the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association. So
your opponent actually claims that he's a supporter of Prop 13 as well. So I mean, what differentiates the two of you on that issue? Because when I think of assessor and I think of what voters want on the assessor position, as Tony and I have discussed previously with your opponent, I mean, Prop 13 is a big deal. So if you're both kind of in favor of Prop 13, you know, does it matter which one of you we elect?
Well, number one, he was in favor of making changes to it, and probably the most important thing we can look at is the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association evaluated everyone in the race in the primary and also in the runoff election, and they decided to endorse me.
All right, well, Mr. Morris, this is the point in the segment where you get 30 seconds to make any statement that you want about your candidacy or anything that you want to address that you think may not have been addressed in the Q&A that Brian and I had with you. So the floor is yours, sir.
Okay, well, thank you. Honesty, integrity, and leadership. That's what this election is going to come down to. And that's what we need. We need a change at the assessor's office because what occurred should never have happened. We need someone who's going to lead that office and make sure that this type of political corruption never occurs again. And as a criminal prosecutor, both as a manager and when I was in the hardcore gang division, I have put my life on the line to protect us. Now I'm running for assessor to protect all the hardworking taxpayers of our community. So please vote for me. My name's John Morris, and thank you for your time.
All right, and thank you, Mr. Morris. Appreciate you coming in and sitting on the hot seat for us tonight. And coming up next on the hot seat is Ben Allen. He is running for state senate. You decide. Southern California 2014. We'll be back right after this.